Hello, I'm Sean Hoddy and welcome to another edition of Community Kids Lockdown Aikido. These sessions are normally published on Facebook at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But with the return of children back to school, we're going to now publish these at 5 o'clock. So we start that right. And the exercise. Eat, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Eat, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Dad's dance, as we call it, to get those hips going. Eat, sun, she, rock, sit, touch. Eat, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. From here we stretch. Eat, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Eat, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Then we circle. Each knee, some sheep, go, rock, sit, touch. Knee, some sheep, go, rock, sit, touch. To the side. Each knee, some sheep, go, rock, sit, touch. Knee, some sheep, go, rock, sit, touch. Legs. Each knee, some sheep, go, rook, sit, touch. Knee, some sheep, go, rook, sit, touch. So we do our knees. Each knee, some sheep, go, rook, sit, touch. Knee, some sheep, rook, sit, touch. Wiggle. Waists. Each knee, some sheep, go, rock, sit, touch. And the other way. Knee, sun, sheep, go, rock, sit, touch. Fingers, so playing the piano. We've got our thumbs. Grasp. So we're reaching and grasping, reaching and grasping. We'll shake. Shoulders, so we rotate backward, forward, backward, forward. Rotate the arms, so backward first, and we come forward, backward, forward, and then we stretch. We just hold that for a while, and then we come down, and we stretch again, and down, and stretch again. Good. From here, right foot in front of left, turn the right toes in slightly, left heel up, push that down to the mat or the floor. From here, just stretch. So you should feel that pulling or stretching your Achilles tendon and calf muscle. And support your weight in your knee. So from here now we change, so we go the other side. And we stretch. And again, you should feel that pull in and support your weight. From here now, we do hamstrings. So, toe in the air, heel on the floor. From here, palm of the hand or fingers, try and touch the sole of your feet, keeping the front leg straight. If you can go further, do so. We change, we go to the other side, and we stretch. And from here, we're going to stretch our shoulders. So above the elbow joint, we just stretch across. And from here down the centre of our back. And then the other hand down the centre of our back. And from here now, we stretch across. So from here, shoulder width apart, or feet shoulder width apart, nicely balanced. So we look down, itch, look to the middle, knee, look up, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Then we turn, knee, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Ears to shoulders, itch, knee, sun, she, go, rock, sit, touch. Okay, so as we stated in every video, we start off with Unsuku and Tandoku Undo. These movements are practiced in every Tamika Aikido and Shotokan Aikido session around the world. So, for Unsuku, we start with our feet shoulder width apart. And the first movements we're moving forward. So, from here with our left foot, so it's ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. So I'll repeat that again. So left foot moving, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. So shoulder width apart, then we move to the side and we try and maintain that shoulder width apart all the time. So from here, knees slightly bent, and we move to the left, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. So what I done on the left, I replicated on the right. And with the third movement, we're moving, if we imagine there's a cross on the floor, we're moving to each corner of the cross. So the first two movements, we're moving to the front, so it's ich, ni, san, shi, and out to the corners. Go, rock, sit, hutch. And again, feet shoulder width apart when we finish. Nicely balanced. So from Unsuku, we go on to Tandoku Undo. So Tandoku Undo is hand and foot movements. And when we move, we try and coordinate the hands and feet together. So, first movement, we start. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. Then we repeat. Ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. Second movement, palm down. Ich, ni, palm up. San, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. Third move, palm out. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. So the first three movements are done with leading with the left leg and the left hand. The last two movements of this section of 5 movements is done in reverse posture. So that'll be left hand and right leg leading. So ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. So note when I do these techniques, as I'm stepping, I'm keeping my centre line as I turn. And my hand keeps that centre line as I turn. Very important, if we move and we lose our centre, we lose our powerful techniques as we move on to doing our various techniques. So last section, again, is opposites. So we turn in, this comes up to the centre line, come into here, back to neutral. Then the other side, we come through, back to neutral. Then we go out to each corner, so out to here, and out to this corner. So do this in full now. So from here, ich, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch, ni, san, shi, go, rock, sit, hutch. Then from here we practice the Subiashi. So we'll be getting with our opponent, they'll be replicating this position and we'll be moving together. So we're sliding our feet as we move. We'll just keep it linear at the moment. And we try and keep our head so we're not bobbing up and down as we do it. We're sliding, 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 sliding. So we keep our head from bobbing. And we change. Ooh. If you notice, I'm keeping my hips and shoulders square. My arms. Call this Tekatana. So it's not straight, and it's not bent here. It's the same shape as a sword. T hand, katana, hand sword. So it's the same shape as a katana. This is a bokken or bokpo. Same shape. So not here, you don't have the sword here. So points to remember is this nice long arms without being straight. So in the last few weeks we've been doing some our Joe katas, so we'll just go over those again. So Joe. So a Joe is a 4-foot staff, and it can be used to thrust, to strike, both ends, to block. So it's a defensive weapon. We also, within our system of Aikido, so our system of Aikido is called Tamika Aikido, also known as Shotokan Aikido. In our katas or forms, where we're throwing with the Jo and we're throwing against the Jo, we use as a yari. So a yari is a spear, so you can imagine there's a blade on the end of this, and we stab with the spear, the yari. So our Jo katas, we've been practicing, we've got up to the 21st movement. Now, for my house, this is a little bit too long. There's some of the movements where I am going to clip the ceiling. So I'm going to change this, and you can do so as well, obviously. You're going to be using other implements. So this is slightly shorter, obviously. But please remember, when we're doing techniques, when we're blocking and turning, these are defensive movements and they're fairly close to the floor. It's not here, it's a defensive movement fairly close to the floor. Obviously, with a shorter implement, we don't quite get that. So, from here, rear comes up, each. So we thrust, and as we thrust, we tighten our hands up. Knee, come over this way. This is horizontal. Sun, strike into the temple. Shi, going down to Geidan. Go, turning. Rock, back into posture. Now we basically repeat those movements again. Stitch, hunch, but this time as we go through and we attack from behind. Cook. So I would be dropping to my left knee. Then from here, so this comes up under the chin and I thrust. From here I turn to each. And from here I thrust to knee. And I thrust again. To sun. Come here and I block. To shi. And again, this is coming right down to the floor with a Jo. Obviously this is short, so Jugo. And then from here I'll be turning to rock, sit, to hutch, Juku. And from here I step up, I come around, Niju, Niju Ich. So we do those again, fairly slowly again so they go into the brain. So from here, rear of the jaw comes up, Ich, Ni, San, Shi, Go, Rock, Sitch, Hunch, Ku, Ju. Ju Ich, Ju Li, Ju San, Ju Shi, Ju Go, Ju Rock, Ju Sitch, Ju Hunch, Ju Ku, Niju, Niju Ich. So once again, over the last few weeks, we've been doing open-handed techniques. So from here, we've done a technique called Shomanati. So if we remember, Shomanati is onto the chin. So from here, 1, 2, and into Shomanati. So this is pushing on the chin. This is pushing on their forearm. So if I was having Shomanati done on me, I'd be in this position, being thrown. So Shomanati. Next throw we did was Agamiati. If you remember from here, we met, then we stepped up, rotating, then throwing. So from here, I step up with the left and back with the right. So up with the left, back with the right, and then we throw. And we're starting in a central posture. So from here, and throw. So remember, we're not twisting, because if you try to grasp someone like so, and you're compromising your own posture. So from here, we're just turning, drawing them in nice and softly. Third technique that we done was Gaiku Agamiati, so reverse facing posture attack. Once again, we don't want to be twisting. So from here, we're just dropping this hand. From here, throw. And if you look, I'm coming off at angles, so we're right to right. This just drops. I'm using my little finger just to draw them in. Draw them in. So from here, drawing them in, breaking the balance. This now, as I move forward, I keep this stretch on. So what I'm doing, if I'm the other person, if someone's got my arm and they're doing a technique on me, they're keeping this stretch on me. What that does, by keeping that stretch, I struggle to step then. And that gives them a split second to throw me. Whereas if there's no stretch, I can just step back. So from here, stretch. This is stretching, keeping them there. And from here, I'm throwing them. So movement from here, one, that's right to right. So I'm moving out, stepping in. And then what I'm doing, I'm stepping, this is going across the chest. My left leg is going outside of their legs. It's a trapping action to throw them. So the next technique is called Geidanati, and Geidanati is a follow-on from Gaiku Agami. So we start with the Gaiku Agami, so from here we go through to do the technique. So we do it as a strike. Hook is blocking. So from here, I've got their right hand or their right arm is there, stepping through, they're blocking with their left. So from here now, I step and I throw their right arm out. If you look, I'm dropping my weight. From here now, as I drop, I drive through that way. So they're standing, what they'll be doing, they'll be standing like this, off balance slightly. So here, they're off balance. And from here, I use my hips. This comes low, so I aim, the way I do it, I aim for the knee. And I know I'm low then. And then from here, I step through, throwing. So, important points to remember, we're not just lifting the arms, so we're here, we're not just lifting. So as we break the balance, we're coming out. This strike comes in. This now I use my hips to throw them out, throwing them away. That breaks their balance. From here, now I'm driving through into Sugiyashi. Keeping my back straight, so I'm not driving through like so. I'm keeping my back straight and my knees are bent. So from here, 1, coming in, 2, use your hips, so we step forward slightly using those hips. Weight drops and then we drive. Driving through. The fifth technique in this section, which is called a Taniwaza, is called Yushirawati. So again, we're right to right, and Yushirawati, what I'm doing, I'm aiming to break their balance using their elbow. So I'm using my hips again, so as we meet, I'm using my hips and I'm driving. So what that's doing, that's making this action, making do this action. So from here, I'm driving. Yeah, so using my hips, drive, then from here, I step past my opponent, hand on the shoulders, not just tapping, but onto the shoulders, and I'm throwing them by the side of me. So from here, I'll be throwing, they'll be going by the side of me to fall, not onto me. You see lots of people, they pull their opponent onto them, and that causes issues, obviously. So, from here, the movement uses the hips, and then we move for the throw. And it's the outside leg that does the work. It's the legs that are throwing, not the arms. Not pulling with the arms, I'm using my hips and legs to do the throw. So from here, hips, pushing away, breaking that balance, and then from here, come through, throwing. So just to recap, Shamanati, 1, 2, 3. Gamiati, so we're stepping up, breaking the balance, throwing. Gaikai Gamiati, so just dropping, breaking the balance, throw. Gaidanati, so we're going through 1 strike, hips, and go through. And Yushirawati.